Okay, welcome back. And unfortunately, we seem to be having a bit of a technical issue there with Mehreen. But, she was going to be talking to us about how difficult it is to leave your comfort zone and how you can make it easier for yourself to take risks and try new things. And we will definitely try and get her on the next segment of our show. But let me tell you about her. I have loads of information about this phenomenal person. She's just unbelievably inspirational. So, Merin is a daughter, a wife, a mother, and these roles make her the best version to develop all else above. Um, she has loads of qualifications. The MEA company was born because of her personal growth, her self development, and her self healing, and her drive to better the lives of other women and children. Let me tell you something very interesting about Mehreen. Mehreen started her first workshop. This is what I found so very interesting when I read her up the other day. She started her first workshop at the age of 14, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. To start something up at the age of 14 says a lot. And this started up in Cape Town to a group of amazing ladies with their daughters. And then she never realized that this will become her passion and drive to better women and children in their lives globally. She was young and fearless in her youth, and she believed that she could achieve anything. And I think that's what it's about. It's when you believe in yourself and you believe that you can do many things with your life, you can change your life for the better. And when you have that positive attributes to yourself and that positive mindset, it automatically changes your karma and what you draw to yourself. As they say, what you self manifest about yourself is what you attract. So when you attract positivity, then only positivity comes back to you. Um, she's had a lot of, ups and downs in her life. And I think a lot of us have those roller coaster rides, as they call it. And herself, she felt as though her self being was, belief was fading. Her mindset shifted to an all time low and negative. Her dreams became a distant blur by mind, by body, by heart, and by spirit. And she lost the balance and suddenly succumbed to being crippled, laying there, not being able to walk or do much. But with her mind and upper body intact, she could still breathe and think right. And she says she read a lot of books, and that's when she decided to look deeper into herself through narrative and say, what is it about me that I can change? Because I'm now crippling myself. She was told that she can't walk, she won't be able to have a child. And she delved into this, thing where she said to herself, I need to change my journey around. And she started from that bed, and what she did was, you know, changed her life around by realizing that this wasn't the type of person she needed to be. Um, and I think, going back to our childhood, those moments of latching onto her beloved grandfather, going everywhere. I think her grandfather was her true inspiration for her. That's what it was about. And I think a lot of us have those kind of people that leave legacies behind that we can turn back to and say, I've learned so much from that person. And I so relate with her because I learned so many things from my uncle and my family where they have left legacies behind. And I told I learned from those legacies every single day to say, what did they do? And this is what Mary's done. She said that she searched, for herself, going back to her childhood when she was 14 years old, and she did that particular amazing segment in Cape Town. Made her think, and also the moments that she latched onto her loved grandfather, going everywhere with him, watching him, how he interacted with people. The laughs that he gave them, the smiles, the hope, and the faith, and of course, the renewed way to be able to survive. And I suppose when she went to any meeting and watched him as he stood up with a voice for those who were the voiceless, it made her realize that when she went with him to gatherings, he would always take a stage and of course, with respect, and make his presence known. And with that, he spoke to people and made their demeanor change. He with that little smile of his, and then as they say, a smile goes a long way, which I so agree with. They walked away feeling better and triumphant. And I think this is what got Marion out of her situation that was she was in. by going back to a legacy, a legend, and saying, this is what has enticed me to a better space. And she went back thinking to those days when she was 14 years of age. And that made her realize that as a young lady who at 20 made her most beautiful experiences with visits to the elderly, senile beautiful beings, while on sabbatical, building best relationships with caregivers, helping to form a network, an entity to assist those who needed caregivers, where they learned the best forms of wisdom today from those beautiful souls. And I think that's what it's about. She learned from those souls, the wisdom. And I always say it's good to tap into these kinds of legends and those people that have their legacies behind, because there's so many different types of principles, values, and experiences that we can learn from them to be able to, should we say, take from there and put it into our own lives and create our own legacies and our own ways of dealing with things. And she drew from all the positives from each one of those experiences at every stage in her life. And she says, so me as me is now here to take on the world. I think that is absolutely amazing to be able to see a turnaround from a person that could literally not walk, that had literally given up on the word life and thought there was nothing left for her. And the way she had changed it around. This is the story that I found inspirational about Mehreen, where she found her new version of life, her new purpose in life. And she said that, she had this overwhelming passion to guide and help people, especially women who struggle with their self esteem and lack of confidence. And she's naturally someone who loves to listen to people and to help people with their life struggles by offering support and a different perspective. So, from her own trials and triumph, she feels honestly truly blessed. And that now she has in a career. But I must tell you, reading her accolades, I was totally blown away. It's literally 2 pages long. And I thought, from the 5 types of portfolios that I do, it was much. But Mehreen is doing like something like, I would say, you know, I can't even count. The page is so full. But we're going to quickly talk about her just now. But I just talking about, the type of experience that she had and what it meant for her. I think for us to understand, the turnaround is the most important thing. And from that, that's what we need to learn is how we can turn our lives around for the better, how we can change our perspective by taking somebody from yesteryear, a legacy. As she took her grandfather and thought about all the positive things that they did together and the inspiration and the upliftment they created amongst the people in their areas. I think that was her turning point. So we need to ask ourselves, for especially those of you that are out there struggling, what is our turning point? Who can we learn from? Who can we turn to and see as our role model to be able to turn our lives around and find that particular role model or that mentor? I have many mentors in my life, and these mentors give back to me in so many ways. Um, I don't even want to take their names because I might just leave somebody out and it's going to cause a problem there. But Maureen says she struggled a lot with self-confidence to the point where she couldn't even bring herself to take photographs. Since she didn't look at herself in a good way. Every time she looked in the mirror, all she seen was this bad reflection of herself. And she thought she was not good enough. And that's where the word self-worth comes in. I always say that each one of us has self worth, self value. And that is something that we shouldn't let anybody take from us. I spoke to Zaid Ismail. He had a conversation at the Sultan Bao Fete where he gave a bit of a speech there about owning your journey. And the most important thing that he brought to the fore was the word self worth and gratitude. And I think that's what we need to learn from the story of Mehreen. And I wanted to bring it up, although we didn't get to speak to her about how we can change our lives, but just relating her story can make you change your life from listening to what I've told you now about her and what she's done. I mean, she says she looked in the mirror and she says, I'm not good enough. I'm not acceptable. But if we speak to ourselves in that manner, then how do we get out of that negative element, that negative connotation that we face every single day? How do we move forward in life? It's not going to help us. So she says, of course, this was all in my imagination. And that's what it is. We literally assume all these things about ourselves. Why not tap into the good? Why not tap into the positive? Why not tap into the self worth? Ask ourselves, who are we? What are we giving back? What is it about me that's so unique compared to others? And I always believe one thing, my motto for the day when I wake up is, what is my purpose on earth? What has God given me? What potentials has He given me that I could use to help others, to inspire others, and to, of course, uplift others? And this is Mary's way of doing it. She says, no matter how much my beloved parents would say, you're beautiful, it just didn't resonate with me. I couldn't find anything that I liked about myself. My self esteem and my self confidence drew a low. Today, I take any picture and selfie with anyone and I'm proud to be me. So, today, by me reading this story out to you and relating Marion's story, what I'm telling you is what I want to leave you with is for you to understand that every single one of you, irrespective, has some form of potential, is unique in some way or the other, has some purpose on this earth to be able to move someone forward, including yourself. So, let's turn ourselves around. Let's turn the way we look at ourselves. Let's look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful. I have value. I have self-worth. When you walk out there, what's going to happen? What you're self-manifesting by saying that, by looking in the mirror, when you walk out for that day, those positive connotations are going to go with you. And that's what you're going to take into the system wherever you go. And it's going to help you move forward. So I'm hoping that this particular segment of trying to turn you around from the way you look at yourself has helped you in many directions. And this is coming from me to you, our viewers, to say, please look at yourself. You're worth it. You're beautiful. And you always have something valuable to give. So stick with us. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back with you in a moment.